Right. Switch in mode. Right. Okay. Okay. Just want to check. Can everyone see now in terms of the presentation slides? All right. Great. So I'd just like to first start with welcome. And my name is Kevin Ye. I'm from Daberistic Financial Services. I'm your pension fund benefits consultant. And it's my pleasure and honor to be here with all of you to be where you are. It took me, I stay in close to Zimbabwe. So this morning I had to use Google Maps to find my way and try to avoid traffic and also the accident. But I'm glad that I found this place all right. Please just excuse me, I have a bit of a throat issue, so I will take throat lozenge just to be able to help. So I'd like to just start with the agenda. So it's about our company, just a bit about our company, who we are, and then we talk about your pension fund benefits. Then we have another presentation on Allan Gray umbrella pension fund. And then lastly, we will play Allan Gray online portal videos to show you how you can log into, register and log into their online portal to view your benefits and your account. All right, so that's the agenda. I just want to first tell you more about myself. So I was born in Taiwan, and I came to South Africa in 1989, I went to Stanger High School, so not far from here. So I have a fond memory of North Coast. You can also call me a Durban boy if you want. So I was at Stanger High School, now Kwatukuza, from 1989 to 1992. And then I went to Wits in Joburg to study actuarial science.
Both of us also went to Wits.
Oh, okay. And then since then I've been in Joburg, and then I've been in the financial service industry, working in the kind of employee benefits, risk pricing, etc. But in 2006, then I started Daberistic Financial Services to provide consulting and advice to the general public. So it's a change of my career, so to speak, but still in the financial services industry. I'm married with 3 boys, so there's a lot of responsibility to two of the older ones. They are studying at university. Okay, so.
Any advice on how to get boys?
Well, I don't know. It's by grace of God. I don't know. It's like we just whether it's boy or girl, it's all fine. But I'm just blessed with 3 boys. I think some. It's funny. I think some friends, they just have all girls, and then we have all boys. It's I think it's how the genes and worked. I don't know, but Okay, so about our company, we are authorized financial service provider. I started this company in 2006, but registered was in 2002, and we are one-stop shop offering to our clients. So we do financial planning, wealth management, retirement fund consulting, business insurance, life insurance, and also medical aids. So in future, if you're for your project or whatever or maybe your office, if you are seeking insurance, certainly you can give us a call, and then we can give you advice and quote on that. Okay. Next one is the 3 steps to financial freedom. So if you look at our company logo, I designed it in such way. So essentially, we like to help our clients to reach financial freedom. All right, and financial freedom or financial independence can mean different things to different people. But this is kind of a journey we like to help our clients. The first step is to reach financial security. So to look at areas of like medical aid, life insurance, and car and household insurance, retirement planning. If someone is a business owner, we also look at the business continuity plan and also business insurance. So once you have these kind of what I call the building blocks in place, then the next thing is we look at prosperity. then if you still have extra money, how do you invest for maybe you have child education, maybe invest in unit trusts, maybe invest in shares and property. So that's how to grow your wealth accumulation. And then lastly, for clients, maybe after 20 or 30 years, and they have worked and they have accumulated money, and then that's where we talk about wealth. And then we talk about wealth preservation and management, and also estate planning, planning for passing of assets, wealth from one generation to the next, and also about tax planning, because that the more money you have, actually more worries you have, because that your tax and who is going to want to get your money and all that. So that wealth is planning is then important. So these are the 3 steps we like to help our clients through, and to get to where you can be financially free, and then have the money that for your retirement, or maybe one day you don't have to work. So that's 3 steps to financial freedom. Okay, so let's now look at the Beijing. Sorry, and then just move this out of the way. All right, so let's look at Beijing Hollysys Pension Fund, and we went through the process of looking at various providers, and was chosen and decided was Allan Gray. So your pension fund is administered by Allan Gray. Allan Gray, as you know, is one of the largest financial service providers in the country in terms of they have the largest unit trust in the country. The Allan Gray balance fund is now probably close to 200 billion rand in size. And the Allan Gray has been in existence for 51 years. They started in 1973 by a gentleman by the name of Allan Gray. And he's born in Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha, and he's passed on, but he have left a legacy. And Allan Gray is, well, I would say, it's a proudly South African story. You know, it's a home brew, and it's a successful company, and it manage a lot of people's pension fund and investments. And your pension fund is part of the Allan Gray umbrella retirement fund, and the monthly contribution to the fund is your contribution is 7.5% of salary, and the employer contribution is 8.5% of salary, inclusive of insured benefits and operating expenses. So
yeah. I don't know if this is the right platform to ask. Yeah. So you can't change the 7.5. You can't vary it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to interject, and that's great.
Yeah.
So according to the structure, it's 7.5, 8.5%. Okay. But if you want to make additional contribution, you can make additional contribution. You can't make less, because that's what the company said as already. But if you feel like you want to save more, you certainly can do that. This is what we call the additional voluntary contribution, ABC, additional voluntary contribution. So say, for example, if you want to make additional 1% or what have you, if you like to do that, I will first need to check with Allan Gray what their rule is in terms of what's the minimum, and also subject to your HR in terms of the payroll system. They will cater for that. Then I think that certainly we can facilitate. That's certainly, if you want to top up, that would be a great way of doing that, because then it's easy. You know, it's deducted from your salary, and then you make more contribution, and then that just means that your pension fund money is going to grow faster. Yeah.
No, I know with other organizations, they actually give you options. It varies. You know,
yes.
From 5, 7, and you just choose the one that you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I think that one is fixed for.
Okay, that's certainly an excellent point. I think that you know, if you it's certainly if there's in consultation with your employer HR, and if they want to consider such flexibility or different structure, then certainly I can go back to Allan Gray and ask them how they can accommodate it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you have risk benefits, life insurance, which I'll show later, which are underwritten by All Mutual. So Allan Gray on its own, it doesn't offer risk benefits. So what Allan Gray does is that it runs the fund, but it outsources the risk benefits to another party. And the administrator is TSA. But then TSA as administrator, they will go to the market to source the best quotes for you. So Old Mutual, Whole Lot, etc. And this risk benefits is underwritten by Old Mutual. Okay. Right. So the part of your risk benefits, the first one is the death benefits. Okay, so it's payable upon death. So it's I think it's straightforward. Should something happen to you, if you pass on for whatever reason, and then Old Mutual is going to pay this the death benefits equal to 3 times your annual salary. Okay, so
can we ask questions in between, or must we?
Yeah, you can ask any question. Yes, if you
risk the risk actually the risk benefit. My question behind it is that this is obviously a life cover.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, it's a life cover.
So what if you already have your own outside? Is it wise to cancel that one, or can you have both of them running concurrently?
Okay. You can certainly run both concurrently. Yes. You can do that. So that's where, after this group session, afterwards we have the one-on-one session, and then you can talk about your individual circumstances. But that's where I, as a financial advisor, come in, or if you have a financial advisor that will help you essentially to calculate how much cover you need, and do you have too much cover? Do you have too little cover? So there can be an argument where because you have a cover now here, maybe you can cancel that one, or you can reduce that one, so you don't have to pay as much. Okay, but then also bear in mind that when you have your individual policy, then you're in control. All right, then like you pay and you have that policy, you have that cover. Whereas with a group policy like this one, when you leave the company, then this will stop. Then you need to get your own cover again. So then that would be subject to underwriting. So that could be something to consider. But the nice thing with this kind of group risk benefit is that it certainly have a conversion, what we call a conversion option. So should something happen and you're leaving the company, then you can contact us and say that you would like to convert this policy to individual policy, and it's actually free of underwriting. And that's a nice benefit. So you can certainly take the group benefits you have and then convert to your individual policy. You pay out of your own pocket, and then that you can continue with that. So certainly you will still not lose it. Yeah. So
and your cover you are allowed to increase. You can top up.
Well, in terms of like a free of underwriting, it will be whatever you have right now. They will not underwrite you. But if you want to have more cover, then Old Mutual is going to underwrite you for the additional cover you are going to have. Yeah. So underwriting means that go for medicals, blood test, and if you're healthy, no problem, then they will grant the cover to you.
Okay. Kevin, what I remember that times by 3.
Yeah.
Okay, from my previous experience, from other places, it's like an index, so that changes as you get older.
It depends on this 3 times annual salary. It depends on your salary according to the HR system and how they actually.
So it don't change by any other, like what I remember. Yeah. So if you like 30 and 50, then the cover will be multiplied by different number.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay, so I can hear that you previously from all different companies. Yeah, okay, and then your previous employers may have a different benefit structure. Yeah. So what you mentioned there, it can apply in some cases, but in Beijing Hollysys case is that no matter irrespective of your age, your cover is 3 times annual salary. Yeah, so that's fixed. It's not doesn't vary by age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin.
The other thing to mention is that it sounds like, because like previously you have your from your previous employer. I don't know what you did with the previous employer's pension provident fund. Did you withdraw or did you preserve money? If you need some advice there, then certainly we can talk afterwards. But certainly from the financial planning point of view, always suggest the client to preserve the money, because I think my experience shows that many clients, when they change job, they take money out for whatever reason, or maybe like they want to pay off debt, etc. Which can be a good thing, okay? But where clients can rather try to preserve the money so that you are not taxed and that the money can grow for your retirement. You have any other question?
Yeah, I see the insured death benefit. You're saying 3 times annual salary.
Yes.
But sometimes you find that your debt that you have is way more than 3 times your annual salary. Okay. So that means you need more cover.
Yes. That's why financial planning comes in. Yes. If you a financial planner doing the financial planning for clients, I would look at your assets, look at your liabilities, and look at how much cover you have, and also your family responsibility. And then make sure that you have enough life cover to cover all your debts, whether it's car, house, home loan, etc.
Okay, so this is just for what Hollysys offers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So apart from this is what the company offers you benefits. But then you individually, in terms of your personal financial planning, you should consult a financial advisor just to make sure you are properly covered. Okay. All right. So payable on this is that 3 times annual salary, but also the balance in your retirement savings account. So whatever you have accumulated up to that time, then that upon death, that will also be payable. Okay. Then the benefit ceases at age 65. And like I mentioned just now, you can convert to individual policy when you exit the scheme. Okay.
So when you say benefit, that means after 65, but can we work to 65? Yeah, we can.
Well, when we set up the scheme, the retirement age is 65. So that's what it is. So I think that depending on your company's policy and HR policy, like whether you work up to age 65, or maybe you actually feel like you can continue working, you want to work beyond 65, then that's a separate discussion. Okay. Then let's look at disability income benefits. Okay, I just also want to acknowledge that Freedom, you are on this call. So if at any point in time you have any question, please unmute yourself or raise your hand. I can't see your hand, but yeah, just ask question so that I can also respond to any questions you have. All right, so let's look at disability.
No, this is fine. I can hear you,
great.
and I'm following. No, that's fine. I perfectly understand.
Okay, thanks, Freedom. Okay, so let's look at disability. So you have disability income benefit, which is a great benefit. So this will be payable in the event of disability due to illness or accident. So if you are able to work, and after a waiting period of 3 months, you're still unable to work, then obviously you need to notify us in good time, and then Old Mutual will assess. And after 3 months, the Old Mutual will pay you a monthly income to compensate you for the loss of income until you recover or until your retirement age of 65.
So this is non-accelerated.
This is what we call this income benefits, disability income.
Yeah.
So when you talk about accelerated or non-accelerated, you're more talking about what we call lump sum disability benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have an individual policy, you have a life cover and you have a lump sum disability benefit. If it's accelerated, then that means that when you claim on disability, then it's use up your life cover, and so you reduce your life cover amount.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's accelerated. So whereas if it's a non-accelerated or standalone, that means that your disability, lump sum disability cover is separate from your life cover. So then that if you claim on disability, it doesn't affect your life cover. All right, so that's a difference.
Okay.
But then in this case here, we have income disability. So you can say it's a separate benefit.
Yeah.
So it's separate benefit. It doesn't affect your death benefit or life cover at all. Okay. So this will pay 75% flat salary. Okay. So if you look at your salary multiplied by 75%, this is what the benefit will pay. And then the benefit is tax-free. So should you be in claim and then you receive this benefit, you don't have to pay to SARS, and you just receive this money, and then that's for you to use. All right, and also the benefit, yeah,
So 75% of your net salary.
of your gross salary.
So eventually, are you actually going to take home? It's going to be more.
I think it kind of work out the tax, so it's kind of more or less. I don't think that it's there for you to benefit more, but yeah, it will pay you 75% of your salary, and it's tax free. Okay, so I don't know what kind of idea it gives. Okay, but yeah, okay.
Also temporary disability.
Yes, so and the benefit escalates at 7.5%, maximum inflation. All right, so inflation right now is 4.5%, is for argument's sake. So then if you're in claim and next year you're still unable to work, then the benefit will increase at 4.5%. Okay, but the maximum the escalation is 7.5. Okay, cap at 7.5, and the benefit ceases at age 65. And then you raised an important point. So this covers both temporary and permanent disability. Okay, so if someone is knocked by is severely injured in a car accident and out of work for six months, for argument's sake, then after 3 months period, then month 4, month 5, and month 6, Old Mutual will pay you a monthly income to compensate you for the loss of income. But after month 6, now you're strong enough and you come back and you report to HR and say, I'm okay to work now. Okay, the doctors give me a clean bill of health. So then we need to inform Old Mutual, and then Old Mutual then will stop payment on month 7. Okay, then that's kind of a temporary disability situation. So it can be illness, it can be accident. Okay, because some people they got sick. Some, I have clients that have, like maybe stroke or heart attack or maybe cancer, and then they had to go through like treatment or recovery for a period of time. So that could also happen. All right, but then that affected you and you couldn't work, and then that's temporary disability will come in. Okay. But,
so what happens if you temporarily disabled for 3 months, so you don't benefit anything?
No, yeah, then that's something, I don't know your company's policy. You need to discuss with your HR and see if your company will, how you will go through that 3 months, but the benefit here is 3 months waiting period.
So for permanent disability, with let's say we get annual increases at the company, do you also get that increase?
Well, essentially, once you in claim, all right. So essentially, then you are, your kind of your benefit is in the hands of Old Mutual, all right. So Old Mutual every year will look at the inflation and give you the increase. Yeah. So that will be separate from the company. So if you have been off work for a long period of time and now you come back to work, maybe it's if you feel like you need to renegotiate your pay, whatever, then that's separate. Yeah. Then coming back to permanent disability, if you are permanently disabled and unable to work, then Old Mutual has the right to maybe assess you regularly, maybe every year, just ask you to go and see the doctor just to check whether you are still qualifying that. And then if a person qualifies, they will continue to pay until age 65. So that's where it's a very nice benefit. Obviously, permanent disability is quite severe, But don't try to take advantage of an insurance company. I can tell you that because I previously worked at Munich Re as a reinsurer. So reinsurer, we insure the insurance companies like Old Mutual, Sanlam, and that. And I've heard a story where because at Munich Re we have our medical officer and also our underwriter, and there's someone who like claim on such and went to see the doctor with crutches. But after he visits the doctor, he just came out and then he threw the crutches away. And then they saw that, so they actually stop the payment. So there's a fraudulent activity that happens. And
I was also telling you sometimes they induce heart strokes. And
Yeah. So I don't know. Some people they're clever in a different way. So yeah. Okay. So next is family funeral benefit. So that's also included as part of the risk benefits. So it covers the member, the spouse, and child over the age of 14. Is 30,000 rand, and child between 6 and 13 years of age, 22,500. 2 to 5 years is 10,000. 0 to 1 years is 7,500. If it's a stillborn, then that's 3,750 rand, and that's benefits ceases at age 65. Okay, so the other thing that's important is, let me get my orange on the side. The other thing that's important is that just make sure you complete the beneficiary nomination form. I don't know whether you have received that from Allan Gray or Mutual to pass on. Okay, so if it's not, then I definitely need to just make sure you get that.
So you can do it online on their website.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely that maybe there's a way of doing it online and that, so that you can. What's important is that because you have risk benefits, especially for your life cover or death benefits and a funeral, you do need to indicate the beneficiary. So it's just to make sure, should something happen, then the money is paid to your loved one instead of going into the estate, because when it goes to the estate can take long to get the money out. Okay. All right. So the next thing is the investment options. Okay. So before I move on to investment option, in terms of risk benefits, is this all clear? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So let me go to investment options. So the default is Allan Gray balanced portfolio. Like I mentioned, that the Allan Gray Balanced Fund is the largest fund in the country, about 200 billion rand. So Allan Gray Balanced Portfolio is on the umbrella fund side or pension fund side, but it's managed the same way as the Allan Gray pension fund balanced fund. So it has a long-term track record since 2000, and it's over long term has done well for its clients, and it has given steady returns over long term. And but there are other investment portfolios, and if should you want to look at the other investment portfolio, they have Coronation, they have M&G, other fund managers. Certainly, I can have a discussion with you and suggest to you, should you like to look at other investment portfolios. So if you have such a need, then do speak to HR at any point in time, and to contact the fund consultant, which is me. Okay. Then let's look at withdrawal benefits. So I think that given the fact I hear that many of you're already been with previous employers and you're probably quite familiar with this, but I just want to emphasize. So on resignation, dismissal, retrenchment, you will receive the full member share. All right. What you'll receive should you transfer from your previous employer's pension fund into the Beijing Hollysys pension fund, then that's when you leave, this is what we call the transfer credit on the previous fund. Then that's also you're also entitled to that. That's yours money. Then your own contributions, the employer's contributions, and also the investment returns. Okay, so not only the capital you're putting, but also the investment returns on top of that. That's all due to you. All right. When you withdraw from the fund, then there are four options. The first one is to transfer to new employer's pension fund. So let's say one day you leave Beijing Hollysys, and then you join another employer. Then then you can request to transfer the pension fund money to the new employer's pension fund. That will be tax free. The second option is to transfer to a pension preservation fund. So Allan Gray does have a pension preservation fund, and we will give you the proposal, and then you can just transfer to the pension preservation fund, and continue to invest and until retirement age. and that will also be tax-free. The third option is to transfer to a retirement annuity fund. That's also available. And I think that later I will talk about the two-part system. All right. So then, so you can also request to transfer to a retirement annuity fund, which is also tax-free.
So
And
the preservation, what happens in the fund? It doesn't grow.
It continues to be invested, so it continues to grow. Yeah. So you can yeah.
Because okay, for me,
Yeah.
it's not so clear what's the difference between the pension preservation fund and the retirement annuity. So for
Okay.
instance, if I'm moving from one
Yeah.
company to
Yeah.
another, so in my mind, obviously, my thought is pension preservation, but I don't know retirement annuity if it's still applicable as well.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the in terms of rules or regulation, that's what you can do. So some people, they say they want to go into a retirement annuity. I would say that it's better either if you have a new employer and I can help you look at their how they invest and then to see whether it's a good idea to transfer to the new employer's pension fund. Because sometimes if the new employer's pension fund, the administrator or the investment manager is not good, doesn't give you good return, and then maybe it's not a good idea just to transfer to the new employer's
And it's
pension
better
fund.
to go to preservation.
Then it's rather just go to preservation. Okay. But pension preservation, it has advantage of that you can have a one-off withdrawal. So if you put money into a pension preservation fund, then afterwards you can, should you need the money, you can request to withdraw partially or entirely.
Tax-free.
But then that would be subject to tax. Okay, but at least you give you that flexibility. Whereas when it goes to the retirement annuity, then you cannot withdraw the money until age 55. Okay, so when you transfer to a retirement annuity, then you lose that one-off withdrawal optionality. So that's why I always suggest to the client, where possible, you should first go to the pension preservation fund as an option. Yeah, because that's you have nothing to lose, but then you have the flexibility. In terms of investment options, they are the same. You can invest in the same funds or portfolio, but then certainly pension preservation fund will give you the flexibility.
But
then,
only when I'm leaving the organization. Can I only move it to preservation?
Yes, yeah. So this is when you withdraw. We're talking about withdraw. When you withdraw from the fund, it means that you're leaving the company. Okay, these are the options available to you. And the last option is
before. So you said preservation fund, you got the one-stop withdrawal option. Retirement fund up until 55, we don't have that option.
Yeah.
But percentage may be varied. Whatever you're gonna get from the percentages.
I think the withdrawal.
The pension preservation fund, you can the growth is the same. That you can invest in the same fund. So afterwards, when you preserve, you can invest in Allan Gray, still Allan Gray Balance Fund. So that's there's no change there. But should you go into pension preservation, we actually have something better for you to put into a portfolio. But yeah, that's
the first one is just continuing with pension fund.
Essentially, you go into, so for example, after many years of service at Hollysys, and then you leave and you join a company ABC. Then you can say, okay, and ABC has a pension fund. Then you can request to transfer money from the Beijing Hollysys pension fund to that ABC pension fund.
And then obviously the rules of that one maybe changes to this one.
Yeah,
and the percentages,
depends
percentages and increases and all the changes.
Oh yeah, that can change. That's where I talked about the investment option, because let's say, for example, like some of my clients, they actually have their money in those bargaining council.
Yeah.
So like a metal industry bargaining council and things like that. And I really don't know how they manage, and so that's where the problem can come in. So if you look at your options and you know Allan Gray and you know the track record. But if you go into a new employer's pension fund, you need to always first understand how are they invested. Are they managed by one of the leading administrators like Alexander Forbes or Mutual, etc. And what's the fund? Because even if it's administered by a mutual, but the underlying fund option, that's very important. Because if you are in the wrong option or maybe the portfolio is not good, then even just 1% less return every year over a 30 period, that's a big difference. Yeah, so that's something you want to look at and maybe get the help of a financial advisor to.
But the last question for now is the hard truth. I want to say none of them are tax-free. Is the truth?
Well, eventually you'll be taxed. Yeah. So if you
None of them are tax-free.
yeah. So once you just the transfer at this point is tax-free. But then when you retire, then that's where you need to look at your options and maybe consult a financial advisor to look at how to maximize or optimize your tax planning, and then so that you keep most and then don't pay money to SARS because you have saved so much and then you have invested, and you definitely want to be clever in your tax planning so that you're not just paying money to SARS when you retire.
See, on that question, maybe I'm taking too much of your time now, but if I take it out in 55 in retirement annuity, will I get same tax or less tax? You don't know, because that would be different on.
Right now, the tax treatment is the same. So whether it's pension fund, provident fund, or retirement annuity fund, when you retire and then when you are taking the lump sum benefit and or converts the balance into a living annuity or life annuity, the tax treatment is the same. So it's now what we call the harmonization or synchronized. So it's, from the tax point of view, at retirement, there is now no difference.
Oh, before it was different.
Before it was different. Before that, the pension provident fund, you could take the whole lump sum out. But then since like three years ago, they no longer allow that. So right now it's all the three structural types. In terms of when you retire, the tax treatment or what you can withdraw is exactly the same now.
And then when you retire, you get a portion of lump sum that you take out, and the 2 portion you keep it, and that you get for the monthly basis. That also gets taxed.
Yes, that will be counted as your counted as your taxable income, and that's why careful planning is important when you get to that stage. But But I think that's it's good that you're thinking ahead. All right. But right now, what's important is really to try to accumulate and then save smartly through your retirement savings and other way. Like the other one is tax free. I don't know whether you have a tax free account, but then the other way to save smartly is using tax free savings account where you will not be taxed for life.
What is that? That is something first I'm hearing.
But it's kept.
Yes, it's kept. Yeah. So let's move on because otherwise we're going to be all day. All right. So retirement.
The withdrawal
Yes.
cash.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. So for the option, take cash withdrawal. So that will be subject to tax. So in your lifetime, the first 27,500 rand of cash withdrawal is tax free.
How much?
27,500. 27,500. Okay.
Only.
And once you have used that, next time when you withdraw, then you will no longer qualify for that because you have used it. Okay. And SARS that have it on the system. So you was.
Is that what they're saying annually?
No.
Which one is that?
It's we're talking about the cash withdrawal. Cash withdrawal here. Okay. So if you previously already withdraw cash from your pension fund, then you already lost that.
That is 27,000.
Yeah, 27,500.
500.
Yeah.
Okay. But are you going to explain the one where they say you can take yearly, I think up to 13,000?
Okay, I'll come to that. That's 2 parts. Yeah. Okay. So let's move to retirement benefits. So your normal retirement age is 65. Okay. And then options upon retirement is the first one is cash lump sum. It will be subject to tax, and then a purchase annuity. And then the third one is combination of both. All right. So I think what's important post the 2-part system. What happens every month? Your contribution, 1/3 goes into the savings pot, 2/3 goes into the retirement pot. Okay. So at any point in time, every year you can withdraw the savings pot. All right. But retirement pot you cannot touch.
All right. How much?
And when you retire, okay, that retirement pot will be used to convert into living annuity or purchase living annuity or life annuity to give you a monthly income. All right. The savings pot, that's the pot you can withdraw cash at retirement. So if you have been doing this every year, then by the time you get to retirement, you have nothing to withdraw cash. You understand?
I get you.
You understand? So you either benefit now and you suffer later, or you sacrifice now, you hold. Actually, you shouldn't withdraw. Okay, but
No, it depends. If you need
Yeah.
cash flow, it depends. But
Yeah.
my question is the savings pot.
Well, I can tell you that my because I advised a lot of business owners are my clients.
Yeah.
And business owners, well, when they manage the business and cash flow well, they don't even talk about the savings component. That's to them is not important.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not. They all focus on saving for the retirement.
Yeah.
So
My question, this one, is it kept, the savings pot? The one you're talking?
yes, yeah, yes.
Per year? Meaning if I've got 50,000,
I think-
can I take
I
out
think-
50,000?
I think let me
That's my
go step back.
yeah.
Okay. If you're disciplined and prior to the two-part system, all right, that's at retirement, you can withdraw 1/3 as cash or get lump sum 1/3, but that will be subject to tax. Okay, there's a different tax rule for that. So the retirement lump sum benefit, the first 550,000 rand is tax-free. Anything above that, 550,000. Okay, there's a tax table you can look up on the side.
But now you just said 27,000. Now I'm
I think the problem is that, you know, like I understand all these things, but when I say this all to you and in a meeting like this, you'll all get confused because the problem is that well, if I have a whiteboard, that will probably make it easier. But then a lot of times you are confused because you're confused with what happens now and what happens in the future.
Okay.
You see, when I talk about 550,000, that's in the future, at retirement. It's not now.
Also,
You
that's
understand? And then you and also for you who may not be so familiar with the SARS tax rules laws, then you mix all these together.
Yeah.
But then for you know, it's when you think about it, it's a different at different situations, different rules apply. Okay, so you can't mix them all together. Just now, when we talk about 27,500 tax-free, we're talking about when you are changing job and you take money out. All right, and then if you have used that 27,500, then afterwards it's always taxed when you cash withdraw. You understand? Whereas when we talk about retirement, at retirement, when you have that lump sum benefit, then a different rule applies.
Okay.
And that's where 550,000 rand is tax-free.
Yes.
So what's important when you look at these tax, it's best that you go to the SARS. Every year they have the tax pocket guide, and you look at that, and that's what I look at as well. And obviously, different insurance companies, they all provide, but a similar thing. And then that's so different situations, the different tax rules apply, and that's very important because if you mix it up, then your whole cash flow and tax planning is going out the window. Okay, so coming back to the 1/3, 2/3. Okay, so if you're disciplined and then you're not touching the savings pot, by the time you get to retirement, okay, you can say, okay, I haven't touched my savings pot. I have 1 million rand in my savings pot. I have 2 million in my retirement pot. Now I like to, Kevin, I like to withdraw that 1 million rand as cash lump sum. But then I will sit with you and say, okay, if you look at this, 1 million rand, the first 550,000 rand is tax free. Then the balance of 450,000 rand will be subject tax, starting at 18% and 27%, and then highest 36%. So, Mr. Client, would you still want to withdraw 1 million rand, or do you maybe let's maximize the tax or maximize tax planning and then just withdraw 550,000, and the balance we can then just put into a living annuity. You take a monthly, so you're not taxed as much. Okay. So that's where the tax planning comes in, you know, because that it's but you will only have that if you haven't touched your savings. If every year you say, I need this money, I need cash flow, and you just take money out. By the time you get to retirement, your savings part is that. And then when you come to me and say, Kevin, I want to have a lump sum benefit, I say, sorry, you have nothing in your savings pot.
But why would you need a lump sum if you know that you're gonna get money every month anyway? It's like you continue getting your salary from the from the 2/3, right?
It's right. He's saying you're still gonna get.
Because the other part of your money you're gonna get monthly.
Yeah.
And why would you want to withdraw?
The whole lump sum.
Yeah, if you're still gonna continue getting money every month.
So I don't quite understand your question. You see that retirement part,
Yes.
that will be converted to a monthly pension.
Yes.
So it give you monthly income.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why would I want to withdraw the whole lump sum?
The lump sum of the savings.
Of the savings, yeah. If
Yeah.
I'm going to get money every month.
Yeah, it's again, that's where when you get to that stage, then it's about plan. All right. So because some people, when they get to that stage, maybe they still have some outstanding debt on vehicle finance or home loan, and they say they need a certain amount to pay off. Okay, then that's where the lump sum will come in. Maybe the client plans to have a overseas holiday, with the wife, and then want to spend 200,000 rand, and then want to, but that's also possible. That's where there's opportunity, and that's where the kind of a planning comes in. All right, but I can tell you that most of my clients when they get to retirement, they don't have enough money. That's the reality. That's reality. I have clients they're forced to retire on the bank, and 61 years old, and when I count to how much they have and saved, invested, 1.52 million rand is not enough, and then they're actually forced to continue working. So I have clients, after 60 still working, 70 years old still working, because they know they haven't saved enough money, and that's the reality.
Just one question. The truth is, there's absolutely nothing you can do.
No,
Touch that.
to touch that. You cannot.
But tell me,
Even if you're unemployed.
no, you can't. No.
Okay.
I think that's from the. I think the government they have two-part system, because post-COVID, during COVID, there were people who went who lost job or not working, and then they struggle, and they still have money in the pension fund. So that's why the government say, okay, how can we make the system more flexible? All right, so, and then to maybe next time when we have a COVID, or if you have a life-changing crisis, and then you can take some money. But I think that the problem we saw in the industry as a financial planners is that I think most people, they just exercise that. They don't even need us to tell them. They heard it on the media, and everyone just took money. And unfortunately, I understand the economic pressure, and a lot of people may be under pressure in that. But that also means that when you get to retirement, you have less, because every year if you take money out, then you're going to have less at the end.
So if you're just thinking about people who just got retrenched now.
Yeah.
So you cannot touch the 2/3.
That's right.
The retirement age.
Yeah.
So now, how are you expected to live? Let's say you are now not even 40 years old, get retrenched, and everyone knows that it's not easy to get a job these days. So now, what for me? Let's say you don't get a job for the longest of time. How are you?
You can only take from your savings pot.
No, this 2 pots just started now. So now there's not much in the savings. So how is that going to work now? It's always like last year.
That's what it's saying.
Okay. If your money is pre-1 September, then the old rules apply.
Oh yes.
Okay. Only the new money after the 1st of September, then the new rules apply. And that's important consideration. So if you have a preservation fund that's prior to that, you can withdraw the full amount. Okay. So that's So and then that's been going on. So it's the communication. So certainly it's I think the government is fair, but also they recognize the problem, because they don't want everyone when you get to retirement, you're struggling, and then you want the state to support you, and that's why they design a system or change a system right now. Yeah.
So everything that you accumulated up until 31st of August, you could take out, whether it's Allan Gray,
well, depending on your structure. Like retirement annuity, the old rule says that you cannot touch it before retirement. Yeah, but the preservation fund, you can,
and pension fund,
and pension fund, you can.
those two.
Yeah, and the provident fund. Yeah.
But you didn't talk about provident fund.
Because you are not a provident fund. This is a pension fund. Yeah. Okay.
So what's the difference?
Okay. Can I just continue? Otherwise, we're going to be whole day here. And okay. So the options when you, upon retirement is the first one is cash lump sum. Okay, that's purchase annuity and a combination of both. So right now, the two-part system comes in, and then that will have effects. But remember that just now I mentioned the old money. Old money before the 1st of September, the old rules apply. So if the old rule says that you can withdraw the full amount, and then you can withdraw the full amount subject to tax. Okay. All right. So this one is we very nicely leading to this, and this is a slide I took from Allan Gray. So it shows you that from 1st of September 2024. Every month, your contribution, whether it's employee's contribution, after the deduction of for expenses or like risk benefits, then 1/3 goes into the savings pot, and 2/3 goes into the retirement pot. Okay, so the savings pot is 100% withdraw at any time prior to retirement. Okay, you are allowed one withdrawal per tax year. And the tax year runs from March to February. So we are going to the end of this tax year. And the minimum withdrawal amount is 2,000 Rand. So if you haven't got 2,000 Rand in your savings pot, sorry, you can't withdraw. The minimum withdrawal amount is 2,000, and the maximum is whatever is in this component. So I had a client who had, I think that's 110,000 Rand in her retirement annuity. And because of this rule, and the 10,000, you'll see it in the next slide, she actually withdrew about 10,000 Rand. Okay. So, and then the withdrawal taxes as gross income at the marginal rate. So don't think you're just going to get the amount, but the SARS is going to have the first claim. So if you take the money out, they see that they were giving you a tax concession when you make contribution, because when you make contribution is tax deductible. All right, so they give you the concession, but now you want to take money out, they will then tax you at the marginal rate. So maybe your marginal rate is 40%. Then if you take 30,000 Rand, then 40% of that goes to SARS, and they take 12,000 Rand, then you only get 18,000 Rand. So bear in mind this kind of rule. So don't think that you're going to get the full amount.
Yeah. Is this kept? If I've got 80, can I withdraw?
I'll show you later on. Okay, so the next, the retirement component is inaccessible and preserved until retirement, must be 100% annuitized at retirement. So that means you use that to buy life annuity or living annuity. Then full withdrawal will be allowed if the value in the retirement component falls below the amount stipulated, specified in legislation. That currently is 247,500. Okay, so if at retirement, your retirement components falls below 247,500, then you can apply to withdraw the full amount. Okay, then accessible if you have not been South African tax resident for an uninterrupted period of 3 years, or if you left South Africa on the expiry of a visa. So that talks about someone who is a foreigner, or maybe someone who moved to another country. Say if a South African moved, immigrated to Dubai or Australia, and after 3 years, then they can actually apply to get access to this money. So yeah, if you're really desperate, maybe you move to another country, and yeah, after 3 years you can access this money. All right. So then let's move on to that's how it started. The system started last year. So when the system started last year, they will first look at if you already have a fund. They will say in order to fund the savings component, okay, that they will take 10% of what your current fund is into the savings component, but a maximum of 30,000 rand. Okay. And then the retirement component starts from 1st of September last year. So the vested component is whatever the components before the 1st of September. Okay. All right. So that's how the system works. So coming back to your question, that so if you look at someone who is maybe say a pension fund was at that time 100,000. If you apply this rule, that means 10% is 10,000 rand goes into the saving component. So on day one, if he wants to withdraw, he can withdraw 10,000 rand. If a person's pension fund account is 1 million rand, then 10% is 100,000 rand. Okay, but the cap at 30,000 rand. So what went into the savings component is 30,000 rand.
The maximum.
So the maximum anyone could withdraw is 30,000 rand at that time. Okay. No, but then going forward, then that's not the case.
Okay.
Okay. At the beginning, that was the case.
Yeah, from the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, let's say, for example, someone's monthly contribution is really huge. All right. Let's say 30,000 rand a month, for argument's sake. Then the annual is 360,000.
Yes.
All right. If you apply this rule, 360,000, 1/3 of that is 120,000. Then that would have gone into the savings pot in this year.
Yes.
You understand?
But they can take out that whole 120.
Yeah, they can take out 120. Yeah, if they need to.
So this 30 is for the initial from.
Yeah, that's seeding. We call it seeding.
Yeah.
You know, just to kickstart.
Yes,
Yeah. But then I was using an example. Okay. So one fund 1st of September, 1/3 of your contribution, monthly contribution, goes into the savings component. So that depends on how big or small your monthly contribution, and that will determine what your savings component is going forward. Okay. All right. So that comes to the end of my presentation, and then just to say that for if in future if you have any queries, please speak to Sindiswa, and then she will pass on to our company. And liaise with Nicole and myself, and then we will then get back to you in terms of any query you have, or should you need to have a consultation about maybe your investment option. All right, so that's and our email address is this one, service@daberistic.com, and then we also have a WhatsApp service line. Okay, so now I want to share with a second presentation. Let me just get out of here. Okay. Okay, so let me just okay, there we go. Right, can everyone see my screen? Okay, just okay. So maybe we have already covered some of this information, but I thought that the Allan Gray presentation slide still has, I think, a value to add in terms of like on a kind of a financial planning point of view. So I'm going to, yeah, sorry, just see. Okay, so that's so just about the slide is to learn more about Allan Gray Umbrella Retirement Fund, and to understand what to do if your circumstances change, and also to ensure you know how to keep in touch. All right, so about Allan Gray. So Allan Gray, they focus on creating long-term wealth for clients. Okay, and then that's they have a range of funds, but it's a focused range of funds. And you can hear them on radio and also on media, social media, and then certainly they're well known in South Africa. It's a privately managed company with a controlling interest held by the Allan and Jill Gray Foundation. So that makes Allan Gray very different from a lot of the large players in the market. If you look at Old Mutual, Sanlam, and Alexander Forbes, they're all listed company. Okay, and then they're driven by different motive because they have shareholders and they have to make profits for shareholders. Whereas Allan Gray, he always kept this company privately held, and then what he did was actually donate all his most part of his wealth into this Allan and Jill Gray Foundation. So this foundation actually controls Allan Gray. So it's not controlled by a listed company or like a private company, but by a foundation. And the foundation itself does quite a lot of good work. I don't know whether you heard of Allan Gray Fellowship. And so I think for high school and university students, they offer this kind of a fellowship or scholarship, and then to support especially people from the previous disadvantaged background. So they have done a lot of good work. And then also they have 20 years of experience in administering funds. And also they started managing the first pension fund back in 1978. So it's almost 50 years. So they do have the experience in managing and administering your money. Okay. So what is a retirement fund? I think this is instead of my slides, this is a nice way of showing you. So your working years need to fund your retirement. Okay. So let's say you started at age 20. Okay. And this slide says that you work until age 60. All right. You have 35 years of employment, but then after you retire, maybe with God's grace, you live until age 90, 100, and then now, with the technology, they say you can live to 150, whatever. But then you need to use this money to fund for your retirement. So your 35 years of employment, you save money so that when you retire one day, then you can then have money to continue to pay for your income or your expenses when you retire, when you stop working. Okay, so that's something we all need to think about, because like if we start too late, then unless then how are we going to survive? Like you could maybe live to 90, but then if you run out of money, then that's then what's your option? Do you then go to your family? Do you go to your children? Or do you rely on the government old age pension? So that will be difficult.
Most people by default they go to family.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people they rely on family to give them support. Yeah, I think that's the reality. Yeah. Then so it's important to strive to be financially independent. So in our slide, we talked about financial freedom, and Allan Gray talked about financial independence. It's the similar concept. So most of the South Africans don't save anywhere near enough for retirement. So this kind of a statistic has been around for the last 10, 20 years. It's been shown that in South Africa, only 6% of people that retire can be financially independent. Then they have saved enough, and they can retire. Okay, and then whereas if you look at the stats here, 45% depend on family, 32% are forced to continue working, which I've seen for many of my clients, and also 17% depend on the state pension. So that's what happens in reality. Okay, so the next thing we need to look at is that how much do you need to save for retirement? How much would I have saved for my retirement? And there are 5 components we look at here. Okay, the first one is how early you start. So say, for example, after varsity, a person starts saving, then that's a head start, like starting saving at age 25, until 60, then you have 35 years. So the earlier you start, the better. The next one is how much you contribute. So obviously the most the Beijing Hollysys putting this pension fund, which is excellent, that help all of you to save for your retirement. But then in addition, if you can, certainly look at saving more. So how much you contribute, that's important. Next one is the real return you earn. So that's why, and also less fees. Okay, so that's why it's always important to look at the return of the fund. And is it adequate, or is it above the market average over the long term? And because that the certain funds that returns over long term can vary quite a lot. Okay, and the next one is how late you retire. So some people, if they have saved enough money, maybe they can retire early. But generally, people don't save enough, so then they have to look at retire later in order to continue with their savings, and they don't have to eat into their retirement capital, and then less any withdrawals you make. So now, just now we talked a lot about the savings part in that, and then that's exactly the point, because like if a person continue to take withdraw from the savings, then that means that your retirement income is going to be reduced. Okay, so these are the 5 things that when we look at how it will get to your retirement income at retirement. All right, so how retirement fund works is that it's offered by your employer, and it's not something that a general public can invest in. It's a conditional employment. So every qualifying employee of Beijing Hollysys automatically becomes part of the retirement fund. Your contribution is investing in a portfolio that earns returns over time, and when you retire, your money is investing in annuity. It provides you a regular income in your retirement. Okay, so let's look at what's the benefits of being a retirement fund. So the first one is a significant tax benefits. We'll show come just now. Then also that professional board of trustees. Generally, a company right now, Beijing Hollysys, your size, and that goes with a lot of small employers in South Africa. You wouldn't have the resources and the time and the money to have set up your own retirement fund. So most of the employers, they choose to join the umbrella fund like Allan Gray, so that Allan Gray as umbrella fund, because they pull a lot of employers together, and there's a scale of economy of scale. Then they hire actuaries, they have the accountants, they have custodians, and they have a board of trustees to manage for you. And then in turn, they pay these board of trustees their fees or salaries. So there's a benefit of doing that. Whereas if you as a company want to do it yourself, then you will find it is just not possible to do that. Next one is that investment risk is limited because of Regulation 28. How you can invest, how the fund can invest the money, how much can be investing in equity, property, and offshore is all subject to the Regulation 28. So investment risk from that point of view is limited. And the next one is retirement benefits is protected. Okay, so it's separate from your employer. Should something happen with your employer, but your retirement benefits is separate parts and is administered by Allan Gray. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to disappear. Okay, so that's very important from the legal protection point of view. So the next slide, let's look at the significant tax benefits of saving for retirement. So this slide, I think it shows very, very nicely. So you could also say that, like, let me pay the tax, and after I pay the tax, then I use my money to invest, like say unit trust or shares. That's certainly one way of doing that. But then the problem with that is you first have paid the money to SARS. So that maybe at your tax rates 35%, 45%, and that's already almost half of the money gone. 1/3 or half of the money gone. Whereas if you put money into a retirement annuity, a pension fund, like Allan Gray's, then there's a maximum contribution of 27.5% of your income is tax deductible if saved in a retirement product. Okay, so if you look at your company right now is 16%. So there's still room, another 11%. Whether you do it in your personal capacity, a retirement annuity fund, or say if you want to top up, you have a room to do that. So if you contribute more into the pension fund, then more go into your retirement savings or investment, and then less goes to SARS. Okay, so SARS give you the concession. So this is your salary, but because you make contribution to your pension fund and also maybe your retirement annuity, then actually your income is reduced by that, and then so they tax you less. Okay, so that's a huge advantage. You're with a pension fund, a retirement fund, you're investing with a pre-tax money. Okay, whereas if you invest in shares or unit trust, that will be post-tax money. So that's much harder to. If you think about it, if you put money into a retirement fund like this, in year one, you already get like kind of 40% back, 30% return in year one. So that's a huge advantage when it comes to putting money into a retirement fund. Okay, so then, all right. So in terms of Allan Gray umbrella retirement fund, umbrella fund. So just to show you this structure. Okay, so if you look at that the umbrella fund, under umbrella fund, it will have by now hundreds or thousands of employers. So all these employers participate and contribute. Okay. So just now we talk about the board of trustees, their directors' fee, their fees or salaries. Then that will be spread over many companies, and that's how they can bring the cost down. Whereas if you are the one that you have to fund for everything, then that would be too costly to run. Okay, so fees are spread across all the companies investing in the scheme, and also entire fund is administered by Allan Gray and governed by a professional board of trustees. Okay, so to give you the governance required for running a retirement fund. And that's really important. I don't know whether you've heard of news. I think even last 2 years, I've seen news where some employer, they just took money from the employer and they say making contribution to a retirement fund. But afterwards, they found out they never did. They never did. And the actually employer lied about it. And that's kind of a problem of if the employer, they're not transparent. You don't even know where the money went to. And that's a risk.
So the employer
Didn't pay.
was saying that they were paying.
Yeah, they make contribution and they deduct money from you, but they never did. And that's that will be a fraud. Yeah, fraud. But then that's why we go with a reputable provider, and you know every month is there, and you can go into the account and see how much money you have there. So Allan Gray Retirement Fund, if you look at how it's the money invested, up to like 2 years before retirement, is invested in the Allan Gray balanced portfolio. And that's what we call the wealth accumulation stage. And that's where you want to have to try to maximize exposure to risk assets like your equities and offshore to try to maximize the return. But then what it does is that the kind of 3 years before retirement, then it will start to transition into the Allan Gray stable portfolio to reduce the equity exposure. So to give you a smoother return closer to retirement. Okay. And then so when you retire, then you are converted into already in the Allan Gray stable portfolio. With the Allan Gray stable portfolio, you will have up to 40% investing in equities, whereas with a balanced portfolio, you can invest up to 75% in equities. So that's the risk volatility is not the same. Okay. So the reason for doing that closer to retirement is just to avoid, say, if there's a market crash and that affects your retirement savings just before your retirement. That happened in 2008. So 2008, the global financial crisis. In that year, the stock market went down by like 30 or 40%. So imagine if you were to retire at that time, and then 2 months later, 3 months later, your retirement saving was 3 million. But then because of the market crash, now you'll retire with 2 million. You will not be happy. Okay, that's why for that reason, Allan Gray, they will do that. So that to make it stable kind of portfolio. So even if there's a market crash, you are not going to lose that much. Okay, you'll protect your money is protected for your retirement. Okay, and that's good. But you certainly can opt out. So maybe you say, no, I will continue to invest this money. I don't want to transition to a stable portfolio. You can opt out. Okay, so some clients, they say they want to continue to invest. They still want to leave it to invest in equities. Then we don't move it to a stable portfolio. Okay. Okay, so this is important. So you can see the Allan Gray balanced portfolio track record. So you can see that over the last 10 years, the annualized return is 9.1%. Okay, so which is decent. And the last 5 years is better, 11.9%. And 1 year is 12.2%. If you look at since inception, then it certainly has outperformed the benchmark or the average in the market. The since inception is 14.5%. I think going forward, with the current market condition, I think you can expect about 10%, 11% over the long term per annum. Okay. Obviously, just remember, it's never going to be a straight line because significant part of this money is investing in equities. So if the market goes down by 10%, you'll see a loss, short-term loss. But then that's why you don't panic. You just leave it invested, and it will recover. All right. So that's with the performance. All right. In terms of the default investment portfolio, these are two default portfolios, but all of you are invested in the balanced portfolio. So balanced portfolio to achieve steady long-term growth of capital for investors within the constraints governing retirement funds. So we're talking about Regulation 28. And you can see how it's invested in terms of its the kind of the benchmark. So invest in equities and invest in offshore equities, and also bonds and cash. And whereas if you look at the Allan Gray stable portfolio, it's focused on capital stability and minimize risk of loss over rolling 2-year periods, and producing long-term returns better than cash. Okay, so Allan Gray balanced portfolio, the target I would say is about CPI plus 4 to 5%, whereas Allan Gray stable portfolio, the target is CPI plus 3%. So they say, for example, right now the CPI is 4.5. Then the Allan Gray stable portfolio, you would expect the return to be around 7.5%, whereas the Allan Gray balanced portfolio, I think long term certainly you can expect to achieve anywhere between 9 to 11%. Okay. Okay. So I did mention about other investment choices available to you. So there's an option to create your own portfolio from a carefully approved list of 16 alternative investment portfolios from top investment managers. So Allan Gray also gives you the choice. So they're not saying you can just invest in Allan Gray funds. If they're no good, then certainly I will advise you to invest in other portfolios. But right now, I think that certainly Allan Gray balanced portfolio has done well for clients. And these portfolios are curated for retirement savings. Even they have a portfolio for Sharia compliant portfolio for our Muslim clients. They are available. And this can be done anytime. There's no charge for switching. So at any point in time, maybe, like in 2 or 3 years time, if I would certainly continue to monitor the portfolio returns and the performance. If at any point in time, if it's no longer good enough, or I think there's a better portfolio to be in the mix, then I can come back to you and say, would you like to switch? And if you switch, there will be no charge. Then the support offered to you by Allan Gray in terms of the scheme consultant, that's me, and supported by Nicole and my team. Everything you need to know about your investment can be found online. And so we're going to play a video, and then you can then see how to register and view it online. You can call your client service center for support. So Allan Gray has a client service center you can call. You will receive regular updates through quarterly statement and email. And then now, because of to prevent fraud and hacking and all that, what they do is that they no longer send the attachment to the clients, but rather they send you an email, and then they remind you to go online, you log in, and then you can view your statement or download your statement. Because that, nowadays with the cybercrime, people can intercept, and then you don't want your information to fall into the wrong hand. And then keep an eye out for educational materials on savings for retirement. So Allan Gray on their website, they do strive to educate the general public as well. You can find a lot of useful, insightful articles. So the next slide is about how to activate your online account. Okay, so you will receive an email to activate your account. Click on the link to take you to Allan Gray online. I just want to check with everyone. Have you received an email from Allan Gray to activate your account?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're done. So, oh wow, that's cool. Okay, so I can, that's easy. Then I can move on. Yeah. So you can view your investment. All right, and what happens?
Maybe Freedom is the only one that missed.
Yes,
Yeah.
Freedom. I'm sure that once you have been you have been added to the scheme. I think this month then afterwards you should receive an email from Allan Gray to register. So look out for that in the near future. All right. So
okay, no,
what?
that's fine. Thanks.
Okay. So what happens when your circumstances change? And then that. So if your circumstance, if you leave your employer, the money you have saved will continue to be invested in an Allan Gray umbrella fund, and certainly we can transfer to the preservation fund, which I can advise you. And we do have a portfolio that can do better than Allan Gray balanced portfolio. You can also transfer the money to another retirement fund, or you can withdraw your investment, but there are significant tax implications, which we have discussed. All right, so this is just give you an example of remaining invested. Okay, so they actually on the website they have a slider just to show you what happens if you if you withdraw. Okay, if you didn't withdraw, okay, that's potentially what's your retirement fund value, 505,000. So they started at 100,000 and it's continuing to be invested, and at retirement it will be worth 505,000 rand. But let's say, for example, you actually withdrew half of it, then you can see what happens when you retire. Then actually the amount you have at retirement will be actually halved, and also that the amount you withdrew will also be subject to tax. So it's kind of a double whammy. So just to illustrate the consequence of withdrawing. So the SARS always get taxed first, before you have your money. What happens when you retire? So the scheme's retirement age is 65. So at retirement, you can use that money to purchase a living annuity or a life annuity, or some people call it guaranteed annuity. So the difference between a life annuity and a living annuity is that with a living annuity, at retirement, when you purchase a living annuity, you can decide how much you want to withdraw. Okay. Minimum is 2.5% you withdraw per annum. Maximum is 17.5%. As a financial advisor, we normally suggest to the client withdraw 4 to 5% per annum, so that this money will last you for like 30 years. Okay. But then different clients, they have a different requirements. So some clients actually, they say, no, they want to leave South Africa. They want to maximize the withdrawal. So we will set it as 17.5%. So that's where the variability comes in. Every year you have the right to reset the withdrawal percentage. All right. Whereas if you use the money to buy a life annuity or guarantee annuity, then you have a contract with one of the insurance companies like Old Mutual, Sanlam, Discovery, etc. And then for example, if you have 3 million rand and you say to Old Mutual, so for 3 million rand, how much are you going to give me as a monthly pension? And Old Mutual will do the quotes. I will run through the system, give you the quotes. And maybe if on 30,000 rand, they say, we will give you 3 million rand, we'll give you 30,000 rand monthly income for the rest of your life until you die. Okay, then if you accept that, then essentially you hand over that 3 million to Old Mutual, and then in return, Old Mutual will pay you 30,000 rand pension every month until you die.
That is an option.
So that's an option.
Okay.
And that's a guarantee. So that guarantee. So it's no fluctuation in that. But then, so that's where when you get to retirement, it's important to speak to a financial advisor, and then to look at the various options to see which one is more beneficial. Some of my clients, they actually say getting fixed is better because they actually get more. They actually get more income. Where like with a living annuity, they actually find the money can run out or be subject to the investment volatility.
So if you don't live long after retirement, is that money going to be transferred maybe to your spouse or something? Or...
Very good question. So normally with a guarantee annuity like this, we do quote for clients, and normally it's a 10-year guarantee or 20-year. With Sanlam, they even have 30-year guarantee. So if you have the guarantee in place, should you die, then the insurance company will continue to pay to your beneficiary until the end of the guarantee period. So if you have a 10-year guarantee period, let's say, for example, after year 3, a person dies, then the company, the insurance company will continue to pay monthly income until the end of 10 years to the beneficiary. If you select a 20-year guarantee period, then they will pay.
But I'm quite sure the money keeps on getting less.
Yes, yeah. So the longer the guarantee period, then you'll see that the monthly payment is reduced slightly. It's not a big reduction, but there will, because that if you like gamble that insurance company takes, so they will need to charge for that. Yeah, so that's what happens. Okay, so that's living annuity. And then the other option is, okay, just to continue, to earn an income in retirement. And also that income is taxed at the marginal tax rate. So when you're at age 65, I think if your income is 10,000 rand or less, then you are not taxed, okay? But say, for example, your monthly income is more than 10,000, then that tax table will apply. Then you will still need to pay income tax, okay? Then at age 65, you can also access some of the money in cash. So the maximum 1/3 of your investment in cash can be accessed. A lump sum less than 550,000 rand will be tax-free. Okay, so I did mention about 550,000 rand, and that's in this slide. Okay, what happens when you pass away? So we also cover that, but your money is protected by the trustees of the fund. Remember to keep your list of nominees up to date on the Allan Gray secure online platform. And that's very important. So I think that if you haven't done that, just go log in again and just check your nominees, your beneficiaries, and that. Just make sure it's updated. And the nice thing about the online platform is like you can update at any time. Okay, but yeah, just make sure it's up to date so that should something happen, then the Allan Gray can pay the money to the right people. Okay. Just to note that keep an eye out for your quarterly statements. Then keep up to date with your investment that are available on your secure online account. Okay, and then remember to keep Allan Gray updated on any significant life changes that affect your beneficiary nominations. Okay, so this is just this concluding slide, and then there's Allan Gray's call center number 0860 000 6504 and the Allan Gray website. Yeah, so that's that on Allan Gray's slides. Any questions before we move to the video? I don't know whether I need to show you the video because it looks like you all have already logged in, and the video really show you about
the video we haven't seen.
Shall I show you the video just to cover the base?
Yeah.
Oh no, then
yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So are you all good in terms of freedom? Should I just play this for him? Okay. Okay, let me just do that. Okay. Right. Okay, let me just go to beginning. Freedom, can you see this all right? I'm going to play. I don't know whether
yes, I can see it. You may play
the thing I want to just check whether the sound, you can hear the sound. Okay, so if you can't hear the sound, just shout out.
Good morning, Team Beijing Hollysys. My name is Everjoy Gumbo, and I am a group savings and investment specialist. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me this morning. I'm sorry that I can't be there to actually give you this.
Sorry, Freedom, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear the sound. Right. The video is playing well. Thank you. You may continue.
Great. Okay, I'll continue. Thank you.
Presentation in person. Should there be any follow-up questions, please let your consultant know and we'll happily address those. The purpose of today's presentation is just to take you through the online portal and how you can actually activate your online accounts. It's very simple to understand, and you'll realize that as I go through all the steps that you need to follow. But before we go into the actual steps, let's just chat about why it's important for you to activate your online accounts. You'll be able to view your updated market values as at the close of the JSE on the previous day. So this is important for you to keep abreast of how your fund is actually performing over time. You'll be able to see what the underlying asset allocation is, what the performance is, which I think is very important. You'll be able to make investment choices, view the investment choices available to you, make any switches that you need to, but we obviously encourage you to speak to your scheme advisor before you make any switches, just to ensure that you switch when the time is right, but also that it's the right transaction for your particular portfolio. If you want to transact, especially in this new two-pot world, and you want to access the money that's sitting in your savings component, you're able to do this from your online portal as well. So again, another important reason for you to activate your online account should you want to have that access. In terms of statement history, you can pull statements over any particular periods of time that you want to see that information over. It can be pulled since inception. You can pull it over the last week, over the last 2 days, over the last month, whatever the case is. And we've kept it very flexible because we obviously understand that at different points in time, you might want to see that information differently and over different points in time. So that's why we've provided that functionality that allows you to pull your statements as at any point in time. It's mobile friendly, so you do not need to have a computer in order for you to be able to access your online account. And I will show you in the next couple of slides what it actually looks like on a mobile device. Even more importantly, is that you'll have one view of all your investments. So should you have any other investments with Allan Gray, you'll be able to log on using those same login details that you have currently, and you'll be able to see there all my investments with Allan Gray all on one page, and you'll be able to, drill down into them should you wish, or should you want to see them as a whole, you'll be able to do that as well. Just a little bit about the member journey. So we provide member engagement sessions similar to what your consultant is providing today and this presentation that I am giving to you at this current moment in time. But moving on to the actual process. So when we receive your first contribution, we'll send an email saying, welcome to Allan Gray. This is who Allan Gray is. This is what the Allan Gray Umbrella Retirement Fund looks like. This is how it works. So you just understand how that all works. It's important. This is your money that's being invested. So it really is essential that you understand how your retirement fund works and what your actual underlying account looks like. Thereafter, once we've invested your funds, that first contribution that has come through, this usually happens within 2 to 3 working days of us receiving the money in our bank account. We'll then send a second letter to say, this is your transaction confirmation. We've invested your funds. This is what your transaction history looks like since we received your funds. That particular email would include a section that says, click here to activate your Allan Gray online account. I'll go into a little bit more detail on that on the next slide as it actually speaks to what that looks like. We do send out quarterly statements. So should you not actually log in and view your investment, you will get that prompt every quarter to log in so you can actually view your quarterly statement, which will be available within your online portal. Right, so when you get that email, the second one that I spoke about, that includes the transaction history, it'll say, click on this link that will take you to Allan Gray online. Thereafter, it will ask you to enter your ID or passport number, which is the details that we have that were provided by your employer. It'll prompt you to follow certain instructions, and then thereafter, an OTP will be sent to the cell phone number that we have on record for you, and you'll need to input it, and that also allows us to validate your contact details. It'll ask you to confirm your contact details just to make sure that everything we've got on record is actually correct. Once you've done that, it'll take you to another page that allows you to appoint beneficiary nominations for your specific retirement fund. Should you not have the details of your nominees at that particular point in time, you can skip this section, but I do urge you to please come back to it and update your beneficiary nomination details, as that is very essential in terms of your retirement fund. Thereafter, you'll be able to view your investment. So similar to that statement that will send to you that says this is what your investment investment now looks like, you'll be able to see that same information as well. Remember, you can always access your online account at any point in time by visiting our public website, which is www.allangray.co.za. And on the top right-hand corner of the page sits our login button. Just by clicking on that, it will then ask you to input your ID number or passport number. It will then send you an OTP to your phone. So it's a two-factor authentication process, and you'll then be able to log in and view your particular portal. It's very secure. The only way that someone will be able to log into your particular account is if you provide them with your login details, but also if they've got your cell phone so that they get that OTP that then enables them to go through that final step of actually logging into the account. This is just a snippet of one of my colleagues' phones that we put together so you can see what the website looks like on your phone. So it's not a freestanding app. This is important to point out, but it's a mobile-friendly web page that can be saved as an app icon using a hyperlink onto your phone. So you can actually save it and it'll show as Allan Gray on your particular phone. You can click on it while on your phone. It'll then go through that same process of asking for your ID number and your password, and then thereafter sending you an OTP that you'll then need to input in order to access your underlying investment. This is just a quick snippet that I showed on this particular presentation, so you can see the amount of information that can be included, even if it's just on the phone. So exactly what you can see on your computer is exactly what you can see on your mobile device. And again, we've kept it very simple so that anyone who goes through this is able to just go through it by themselves, click a few buttons, and actually understand how it actually works. But look, it does happen that sometimes you can have some difficulties either with trying to activate your online account. I'm going to ask that you firstly contact your scheme consultant, but also you can contact our client service center and they'll be able to assist you with this. The details for those, for our client service consultants rather, will be at the end of this presentation. So please call in and they'll be able to assist to ensure that you do get activated. And then just in finishing, just to chat a little bit around the support that we offer to you. Firstly, you can contact your scheme consultant. So they're the first port of call should you have any questions. Everything you need to know will be found on your online account as regards to your investment. But over and above that, as I mentioned, you can call our client service center for support. We purely provide information as Allan Gray. We do not provide any advice at all. So any advice needs to go to your scheme consultant. You will receive regular updates in the form of quarterly statements and other emails, largely around educational materials on saving for retirement. These are just the details of our client service center. I appreciate you listening to me today, and welcome to the Allan Gray Umbrella Fund, and I hope that we can help you towards your journey of retiring comfortably at the end of the day. Keep well. Goodbye.
Great. So that's this video. Freedom, are you now okay? When you receive instruction, you know what you will need to do?
Yes, I know. And then on our one-on-one, there's one thing that we need to do, but we'll discuss it on our one-on-one.
All right. Okay, great. Okay, so I just like to ask, are there any questions before we close the meeting?
Yes, Professor, I've got a question. If you've got a will, how does it affect your nominees? Let's say you don't appoint them under Allan Gray, but
yes,
whatever.
Yes, then what will first happen is that the trustees, they will look at who are your dependents and the beneficiaries. That's why when you look at nominees, they look at they will look at what you have nominated. But if you haven't nominated, then they will the trustees, they still have a duty to find who are your dependents. Okay, they will take into account your will, what you say that your wishes are, but then they still have a duty to investigate. So just an example I use that just about every employer is that, you could have someone who's wife and with kids, but then he also on the side he's got girlfriend. And then like he nominates like a girlfriend will get everything. But then he surely passed away. Then the trustees will actually investigate and say, no, actually the wife got 2 kids and the girlfriend has no kids. And there's duty to look after the children. So we decide to give 100% of the money to the wife and the children, and then nothing to the girlfriend. So the trustees, they they have what we call the fiduciary duties to do that, to make sure it's look after the people who are dependent on the deceased. Okay, but certainly if there's is not no nomination, then there was also consider what's stipulated in the will.
So, for the Allan Gray thing, let me say application.
Yes.
So the part where you add beneficiaries, that I didn't see, or you have to fill out a complete.
It should be online. So maybe just go online and then just maybe some tab. So on some tab you should find it. If you struggle, please ask your colleague who seems to be okay, and just find your way out. Okay. All right, so if there's no other question, then let's conclude the meeting. And I'd like to thank you all for your attention, your questions, your participation. Really great to have this interactive session. Yeah, and thanks. And then afterwards, we'll have the one-on-one session, and then you can talk about any individual needs or questions you might have. Cindy, Swan, you're good?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Okay. Then I'm going to Freedom. Then we're going to say goodbye to you. Okay. And I'll chat to you later.
Okay, we'll chat at 1. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.